Hello and welcome to my channel. This is the No Gluten Zone. I make content that relates to food issues, to put it in a general sense. If you have food allergies, food sensitivities, food intolerances, anything autoimmune that affects what you can and can't have, then I try to create content that works for you, right? Myself, I have celiac. That is my primary issue. So I can't have gluten and I can't have anything with cross-contamination of gluten. That is the biggest issue. So if you find yourself in any of those situations dealing with food, then my channel would be a good fit for you, I think. So if you would, hit subscribe, like it, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I upload. I try to upload weekly, maybe sometimes more often, and sometimes I miss a week here and there, but I do my best. So today I wanted to talk about mugs. We've got Yetis versus Stanleys. I've been wanting to do this video for a while. I feel like there are some very distinct differences between Yetis and Stanleys that could affect your choice of which one you want. Now you might be asking yourself, how is this involved with food issues? So I'm glad you asked. If you cannot get coffee out somewhere, or if you can't drink coffee at all, then you probably want to take your drink with you. And that's my situation. So I cannot tolerate coffee. Number one, I can't handle caffeine. I did try Swiss water processed decaf because regular decaf has solvents in it, but it's still too acidic for me because I have interstitial cystitis. So if you have interstitial cystitis or reflux issues, coffee is very acidic and it might be a problem for you. They do sell low acid coffee or alkaline coffees, but I don't know what they do to them to get them like that. They make me feel horrible. So I don't know what the deal is, but I cannot drink coffee. So sometimes I have like a herbal tea. Most days I drink Creo brew. Sometimes I'll do a hot chocolate. But all of those I'm making in my home, unless I'm traveling, and I'm taking it with me. And so I need a mug. So if you're in that boat, or if you just prefer your own thing that you make, then you're in that boat too. So I hope that this content does help people. So my main point here is on the differences of these mugs. So most days we use 20-ounce mugs, my husband and I. If we do road trips pretty often. I kind of prefer to do a 30-ouncer. So these are our 20-ouncers and these are our 30-ouncers. I got these for my husband. When I forget if it was anniversary or birthday or whatever, I got him these Yeti mugs. Then later I needed a mug and I chose Stanley, and I'll show you some differences that I've seen. The reason I didn't buy myself a Yeti, because I needed a mug after I had gotten my husband Yetis, was because I would borrow this on days when I serve at church on the worship team, and I'm there all day for all 3 services, and I would borrow this big guy and I would stash it in my purse. I have cup holders in my purse organizers, and so that's where I wanted to keep it. And it would leave as it jostled around in my purse. I mean, not a lot, but it does move and tilt and stuff. I would find my drink coming up out the top because the lid is sealed really well. It was not going to come through here, but it would come through like the opening here. It would kind of come out and pool there, and it could spill into my purse. Initially I thought it was because the lids just pop on, and I thought, oh, the Stanleys screw on, so that would prevent the problem. So I got myself the Stanley instead, and I have the exact same issue. There's still, the drink does not come through here, but it comes up on the top in my purse. So if I'm moving my purse around a lot, I just take it out now. Now I know that, but we do have both of these, and I wanted to go over the differences. So these are 20-ouncers. This is the Yeti and these are Stanley. The reason I have 2 is when I drink my Creo brew, I use this one. If I want herbal tea, I bought this one because it seems like if I'm trying to do them both in the same mug, it affects the taste. Even though I clean them really well when I'm done, there's just, for some reason, I feel like my tea never tastes right and my Creo brew will never taste quite right if I'm using the same mug for both. So this is my herbal tea mug and this is my Creo brew mug. So initially looking at these 20 ounces, as you can see, the Yeti is a little bit shorter. And you can see the Stanleys have a slightly smaller base. Well, they're about the same. So the diameter up top is about the same, but they're narrower in the bottom. So if you have a smaller cup holder, perhaps this would be a better option than this because this bottom is a little fatter. Then you have the lids. The lids is like the big difference. So the Yeti lid just pops on. It's a tight seal though. And then the top slides and it's a magnet. You can take it off. That makes it really good for cleaning it well. And you can buy, this is actually a replacement one and it's camo because my husband, so he dropped his mug and this part came off, it fell off and he could never find it. It was next to his Jeep and I really think it's like, because it's a magnet, I really think it's stuck somewhere on his Jeep. So I went looking and you can get like a ton of different varieties of these, which I think is really cool because you can totally customize your mug in that sense. I think that's really cool. So then looking at the Stanley mug, the lid, let me take it off. It's sort of a three-way. So like this, it's completely closed. You can spin it open. It clicks like that. This would be to sip out of it, right? And then if you click it like this, this is for using a straw. And it does come with a straw. So if you do drink like cold drinks or something with a straw out of your mugs, then the Stanley's a really good option. So I have a lot of like water bottles and things that I drink and I don't use straws. So I never use that for this. This is my Stanley mugs here are just for hot drinks. Never use the straws. They're tucked away in a drawer somewhere. But if you do use straws, then that makes the Stanley a really nice option. I also ordered this. This was separate for my husband in case he wanted it. You can add it on here. I know some people really like handles on their mugs. He's never used it. And I know that I would probably never use it. Most of the time I tuck it in my arm and then I'm carrying stuff around doing stuff. Or it's in my purse. Either way, this would be in the way for me, but I know that some people would really, really like this option. So looking at the 30-ounce mugs, we don't use these very often. Well, I used it today. I use it on my long days at church when I'm on the worship team and I'm there for 3 services. And I use it for road trips. And my husband usually uses it like when we're traveling or road trips type of deal. We typically just use our 20 ounces, but there are some differences in these too. As you can see, the Stanley is taller and it's thinner. The bases are about the same, but this one is taller, thinner. So depending on where you're keeping it, where you're putting it, that could affect which you need. Do you need a shorter, wider? Does that work better? Or a taller, thinner? Does that work better? Again, the lid is the same where you can sip or use a straw. And again, this lid is the same with the magnet slide. And one final word that I want to share. This is just Stanley. I'm not aware of a Yeti counterpart for this. When I do travel, I don't like to take my French press because I drink Creo brew. I make it in a French press. But when I travel, I don't want to take it because, you know, it's the borosilicate glass, if that's how you say it, but it's glass. It's fragile. So I don't take it in the motorhome and I don't like packing it in my luggage. It's gonna break, right? So I found this. This is made by Stanley and it is like a travel French press the handle pops out, right? It has a lid. There it goes. And then it has this inner part. So you put your grounds in here, coffee grounds, Creo brew grounds, whatever you're brewing, put it in here. And then you put the water, hot water, and then you put that, see, it's got like the French press bottom thing. And you'll put it in here and you let it brew. And then you push it down when it's done and you can pour it out and it has the lid. So it has been really, really great for me when I travel. I'm still able to have my Creo brew. I used to just not have it when we traveled and it really made me sad that I couldn't enjoy it. I will say my only word of warning is when you put the hot water in here, it gets really, really hot on the outside. So make sure you put the handle out before you fill it and you have that. So I hope maybe that was helpful. Help you choose. Do you want a Yeti? Do you want a Stanley? There are some important considerations I think that would be helpful to decide. And maybe some people just prefer one over the other. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you soon. Have a blessed day.